Leveled up this weekend in terms of what you've been able to get out of the car across the weekend, and how encouraging is that for the championship fight? You're right in the thick of it now.
Yeah, I mean the championship side of things I'm not really focusing on. You know, we're still so early, but performances like this are certainly going to help in the championship. So I think that's the most important thing to try and take forward is trying to have more weekends like this. You know, I obviously know it's not going to be quite as straightforward for a lot of the races, but you know, when I've got the chance to have weekends like this, I need to take them, and very proud that I did that.
I just need to keep my head down and keep working hard, because I'm not confident, I'm not comfortable, and I feel, I mean, I know what I can do, I know what I can achieve. It's not gone, I've not lost it, it's just things aren't clicking, and I need to somehow look into why they're not clicking, but it's not proving to be too easy.
Yeah, I was going to say that it feels like you know you're fast, it's just not happening in the moment. Does that give you confidence you will find it again? Because this happened before and you found it again.
I mean, I think my race pace is fine. My race pace is good. It's clearly a bit more my qualifying, and I mean, I went through a lot last night. I left late last night. I spent a lot of time trying to look into what happened, why I struggled so much, why I'm not feeling confident, and I guess we kind of narrowed down to a few things, not maybe clear answers and definitive answers, but a few reasons of, you know, why maybe I've been struggling a bit more here and there with my qualifyings and the pace and stuff. But I capable of doing. I know what I can. I know I can go out and get poles, and I can win races by good margins. But I'm just, something's not just doing what it should, and I don't know what that is. Like I said, I need to get back home and get working with.
How satisfying also was it that maybe McLaren's weren't as far as maybe lots of thought? You were kind of in the mix, weren't you, really?
Yeah, definitely kind of. I mean, Lando said yesterday they're going to lap the whole field. I expected Lando to come through, but he was not as competitive as I expected, and I think Oscar just had it totally under control, and at the end of the day they still finished 16 seconds ahead in 25 laps, which well done to you. Well done. So yeah, that was still pretty exceptional.
Were you asking, when you were asking for Delta, was that asking for a one stop? Is that what you wanted to try?
Yeah, there was. I mean, there was different strategies that we're speaking of. One of those was the one stop, but it was it was definitely brave, and I'm happy we didn't do that at the end, because that would have been very difficult with the safety car later on. So yeah.
It still feels like a baby step forward, though, this weekend.
A baby step, but we need many baby steps before getting to where we want. And but as I said at the beginning of the weekend, we just need to be cautious. I think we brought that upgrade here. I think this is not the best track to extract the maximum out of this upgrade, and I'm sure that next week we shall be extracting a little bit more of performance from these upgrades and hopefully be fighting for first.
How good of a weekend we had, you know, when we were fighting these guys last week. We were struggling a lot, like couldn't make it to the points. Max was winning, and this weekend we actually were competitive and fighting him until the last lap. So very happy for the team. Scored his first points, very good strategy, good pit stops, and the car was competitive. So hopefully we can build up on that.
How much confidence can you take from this weekend, given you were strong across the whole weekend, very unlike earlier in the season? Yeah. Or do you think it's maybe a bit track specific?
I mean, winter test, we were very competitive, which actually got, you know, our expectations quite a lot higher than we've been able to achieve in the first few weekends. No, it's good to confirm that, like coming back in Bahrain, that the car definitely works. Now, I think it's important to get those answers and understanding why here the car is so good. I do believe we're going to be able to reproduce this sort of performance on some other tracks, but there's clearly a lot of understanding to go through over the next.
Kimi, I felt for you. It didn't feel like you did a lot wrong in that race. It just felt like circumstances went against you. Just talk me through how you're feeling after missing out on points.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing because obviously, you know, it's the first time I got undercut, and that was fine. I was expecting it, and but then obviously when I put the soft after the medium, we did 2 laps, and then there was safety car, and I felt like I was out because obviously, you know, with the safety car, the tire would have cooled down anyway, and probably with a bit more free air would have been a different story. But overall, we need to review this with the team. I think on my side, I could have probably chose a bit more wisely the way I was pushing after the pit stop, just to save a bit more tire. Yeah, now I saw.
More than that was anyway not possible, even with good pit stops or other tires selected realistically. So yeah, it's of course not what we want, but it's just where we are at with our car, the tire behavior that we have for the car. Everything is just highlighted even more on a track like this.
How much is that hurting at the moment, knowing that you're coming into a weekend where like DEG is so important that you know it's going to be a difficult weekend?
Yeah, it's just tough. You have to hang on, try to of course improve the situation, but it was just a bit stuck at the moment, and yeah, hopefully we can improve.
You know, it's still a learning curve, and you know, still very appreciative to the team. You know how much supportive they are, and without that, I wouldn't be able to progress as much as this. So yeah, I'll still take this first points.
And from a personal level, we talked earlier before the race, the growth of you through the weekend. You've gone through qualifying, you delivered the race, you've delivered again. That must really be a boost to your confidence when it's only your second weekend.
Yes, I have, you know, just keep what I'm doing, and yeah, definitely have to continue like this results, you know, in the coming future, but also at the same time not really rushing. I'm sure something difficult, maybe more difficult race weekend will happen, and that will be the most important time for me to, you know, how I can cope with that, you know. So still a lot of challenging ahead, but I'm ready for it.
From there, you know, we sealed the position. That was the maximum we could have done, you know. So at the end, the safety car put us in very bad position because we were about to get overtaken by Yuki, but also Oli benefited from it. So it's a mega drive from him, also coming from last. Yeah, double point finish for the team. We are, of course, delighted. That was the maximum we could have done, and proud of what we've achieved.
How good is it for your confidence after yesterday? Because you don't make many mistakes. So good to get that result. And also, you mentioned the double points for the team. It's so close in the midfield. These things are significant, aren't they?
Yeah, it's super close, as you said. I just saw we are 5th in the Constructor Championship. So, yeah, that is awesome. You know, we need to keep maximizing all the points we can. We need to keep developing this car. I'm sure, you know, there's more potential, but especially, you know, we need to try and maintain that level of performance, try and maintain the car in the right window, because, you know, we had a bit of fluctuation in the recent moments, and, you know, we need to make sure that we stay on top of our game, as it is extremely close, and, you know, today is a great one for everyone.
The kind of mood in the team and your personal mood, because I know you're all working really hard to fix it, but at the minute it's obviously just almost impossible to make any magic out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously we are disappointed with the performance in these first races, but we know the championship is long. We saw many teams turning around things quickly in season. McLaren 2 years ago, even Alpine, you know, they were lapped here last year, and now they are fighting for the top 5. So, you know, there is hope. We will not stop working until we are in those.
I appreciate it won't mean a lot right now, but there are so many positives to take from up until that point when you're running in 9 to ultimately the rest of the weekend for you on a personal level.
Yeah, you know, similar to yesterday, it was so good until it wasn't, and same today. So we just need to find how we can piece it all together.
How confusing was that you had that lack of pace in that race?
Oh, it's not the first race. I think that this issue has been since the beginning of the season.
It did feel like this weekend generally was a step forward across the board, really, for you. Is that fair?
Yes, just in the midfield it's so difficult to get points if you don't get everything perfect, and today in the race, we're trying to fight faster cars. We used a bit too much use of our tires, and then little by little we started to go backwards, but when I recovered the pace and I went to overtake Yuki to get back in the points and get the race back going, we had this damage. So still not a clean weekend, which is what I
was going to say. After the difficulties of yesterday, you made those 5 places, maybe even 6 on the first lap, and then you obviously held off faster cars. Does this feel like a real seminal moment almost, and your kind of growth in the team? Because you did it all today.
Yeah, today was, I mean, of course, a bit lucky to have the safety car, but I felt really strong on the first stint. Second stint on the hard was a bit more difficult, but I think I was the only guy on the hard at that point, so Yeah, we called the safety car, which is of course very lucky, but then I had to hold my position, which is easier said than done with faster cars around. So yeah, I'm really proud of how I performed today. I think I did a really good job, and of course the team, goes without saying, they've done fantastically as well.
Just generally looking back at the weekend as a whole, is it just generally frustrating is it a missed opportunity, I guess, in some ways?
Yeah, I would say so, because yesterday I still think that we could have got to Q3 and maybe it changes our race. But still, we need to focus on the important bits that we missed. Beat the car balance, qualifying, I could have extracted more, and the race start was definitely poor. So there's a few things
How encouraging is it then to have good pace in the car after a bit of a tricky weekend, doesn't it, overall?
Yeah, but honestly, to me, it feels a bit more like a missed opportunity. I think we didn't qualify where we should have. Just got a little bit stuck in the pit lane yesterday, and then today we rebounded as we should to go from P15 into the points, and then we got unlucky with the safety car and went out of it again. So I don't think it was necessarily a tricky weekend, just a bit unfortunate, and we'll get back and get it.
Looking forward, but I feel like we're getting closer.
Hey, Nico, well, you had a difficult opening lap, I guess, or start. I didn't quite see what happened when you dropped a load of places, and then there you go, and from there it looked difficult. Talk me through it.
Yeah, true. Not the best start, but I think kind of recovered a little bit in turn 1 on the inside, but then was on the outside through turn 2 and got pushed wide over that curb by a car, and lost all the drive down to turn 4, and lost again all the positions. I think I was P last by the time we arrived in turn 4. So it was a pretty dreadful start to the race, which doesn't make things easier, of course. Also starting on the soft, and pitted early. We were aggressive, and it was always going to be a long shot. It was difficult. I think this track today exposed a few more weaknesses that we have to work on in the car and with the package. So definitely some interesting lessons and learnings, but as we know, work to do.